Hi guys, back again. It's turned back to winter here in Adelaide. It's freezing, pouring with rain, miserable weather. But anyhow, that's not what we're going to talk about today, the weather. That's my English roots coming out. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the subtle forms of emotional abuse. And I think this is something that I think people are experiencing but probably don't even know they're experiencing. And this comes directly from our social conditioning, our upbringing, our training, our grooming. Somehow you're responsible for my emotions. And this is what parents do to control their kids. You made me angry. And it is a subtle form that starts very young that actually then goes on. And we are so immune to it, we don't even realize it's happening. And what they're doing is kind of holding you responsible for the way they feel. Now, it can be very subtle, and if you've been brought up with it, you don't even realize it's happening. You're not even aware that it is a form of emotional abuse. And it's emotional abuse because it's trying to control you. It's a form of controlling the other person. You made me sad. You hurt me. When you chose to go off and do what you wanted to do, didn't hurt anyone, you chose to go off and live your life on your terms. No, you hurt me when you did that. And the subtle message is, you're responsible for how I feel. Now, if you tell a grown-up person that, someone who you've conditioned at a very young age to feel responsible for your emotions, as an adult, you will feel guilty. You will feel like you've done something wrong. You will feel bad, and you will act accordingly. You will do what the other person wants you to do. And this is the subtle form of emotional abuse that we all have experienced and are so immune to, we don't even realize it's happening. And this is why people don't live on their terms. They don't live life on their terms because they're always considering the impact this might have on A, B, C, D, and E. Kids, parents, friends, you name it. And this is why it takes a really courageous person to just do life on their own terms, just live their own life, do what they want to do. Because in them doing what they want to do, it's not their job to keep everyone happy. It's not our job to keep everybody happy around us. The only person you're responsible to keep happy is yourself. And so if a lot of people are saying, oh, you really hurt us when you chose to do that, live your life on your terms, do what you actually really wanted to do, you really hurt us when you did that, what is the messaging? I'm upset with you. Now, you say that to a person who's been conditioned to believe that they're responsible for everyone else, and this is why everyone's unhappy. This is why every single person who's unhappy or depressed or anxious or overwhelmed, because on some level, they feel responsible for everyone else's feelings. Now, I'm not talking about people who do the wrong thing. I'm not talking about people, if you did something, if you were rude or shouting and abusive and, you went off. Okay, let's use an example. If you're married and you go off and have an affair and your partner says you really hurt me when you did that, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about any of that. Of course, that person is going to be hurt. Of course, that relationship isn't going to function and work if you continue to go off and put your attention on other people, no matter what. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the subtle kind of conditioning that we had. If you go off and do that, if maybe you go and want to live in another state and work, if you marry that person, if you're just living life on your terms, right? So if you're just doing what you want to do, I'll be hurt by that. That is subtle emotional abuse. Because in some respect, they're trying to control you. Not on purpose. I actually don't think people are doing it intentionally. They just know, oh, you really hurt us when you did that. These are the parents that have brought us up, and now you owe them. And this is the trouble, and I think this is why there's this real thing happening where children are cutting their parents off and their parents don't even know why, and their parents are like, what did I do, and they don't even realize what they're doing when they're emotionally abusing their kids, emotionally abusing people to get their needs met, to control people. And so this is why it's so insidious, because if you've been brought up like that, you don't even realize that's what's happening. That is what's happening. Your normal reaction to emotional abuse should be angry. You should be angry because you know what they're doing. You see right through what they're doing. They're trying to emotionally manipulate your emotions to feel guilty so you will do what they want you to do. And that is a form of control. And the people that are sitting under that don't even realize, because that's what they've been taught their whole lives. They've been subtly conditioned to do what somebody else wants them to do. And parents do this. You made me angry, you know? And I really, and it's those subtle forms of conditioning, the subtle manipulations that people don't even realize what they're doing. They really don't. And until you call someone out on it, actually, what you just did then was emotional manipulation. And they don't know it, they don't see it, and they're not doing it on purpose. So in some respects, I'm not blaming the person. I just want to wake us all up to the fact that we are subtly being emotionally abused. If you go around to see your elderly parents and they go, oh, no one comes to see us, we're so lonely, all that complaining and moaning they do. And, oh, I can't get out, I can't do, and you tell them maybe you're going on a trip or you're going away. Oh, well, it's okay for some of it. It's okay for you, isn't it? What is that about? It's emotional manipulation. It's like they want you to feel bad because you're doing what you want to do. You're not harming anyone. You're just doing what you want to do. You're just living life on your terms. But no. You get the whole dialogue. Oh, poor me. Victim. Oh, it's all right for everyone else. All right for you. You've got something to look forward to. There's nothing to look forward to. And then they wonder why you don't want to go around and see them. And then they wonder why you don't visit. And then you wonder why. They wonder why. And they don't even realize what they're doing. And so I'm not blaming people. I'm not blaming these people who are trying to control you. I just want to wake us up so we don't get controlled. So we stop living on other people's terms. So we can realize, oh, I see what they're doing there. They're guilt tripping me. Oh shit, it's working because I feel guilty. Oh God, I can't do what I really, really want to do in case I upset everybody. And this is how we live our lives of quiet desperation. We live lives of quiet desperation because we're trying to not upset anybody. Because we don't want to feel guilty. We don't want to feel that feeling we get when we're doing something that we really want to do, but other people don't really approve. And even if you want to do something quite simple, like, I don't know, go live in another state, maybe go even live in another country. And of course, that person feels like somehow you're rejecting them because life's all about them, because you're dealing with a very immature, insecure person. And that's not your responsibility. That's their responsibility to deal with. Our responsibility is to wake up, connect deeply with ourselves. So when we feel the guilt and we know, oh, that's interesting, I just kind of want to go and do this. And it's not harming anyone. Maybe you want to go take a trip. Or maybe you want to go live somewhere else. But somehow somebody else is like, you've abandoned us, you've rejected us, you're leaving us. And you feel guilty and then you don't do what you want to do. You are living life on somebody else's terms. And that's why I think people end up miserable, depressed, anxious, worried, and don't even know why. They have this great life. Maybe they have lots of money. Maybe they have a nice house and a nice partner. But somehow there's this feeling that something's not quite right. And that's probably because you are being very subtly emotionally abused by people around you. And generally this happens, parents, siblings, families, friends even. You can't go off and leave me. So if you want to go, even friends will do it to you. Friends will, they'll go, oh, you can't go and live somewhere else. And a good friend will go, yeah, if that's what you want to do, go do it. But an immature, insecure friend will go, oh, you can't leave me here. Yeah. And so it's about when you are closely connected to your heart and soul, you pick it, you see it, and it's not comfortable to sit in that feeling, and you will do everything possible to not want to feel that feeling, especially guilt. Guilt's the big one. If you feel angry, that's probably more healthy, because you're actually realizing they're trying to guilt trip me into doing what they want me to do instead of just allowing me to do what I want to do. And this is that whole thing of some parents give children life to give them life, and some parents give children life to take their life. No, I brought you into the world, you need to do what I want you to do. And it's this subtle or not so subtle form of deep emotional conditioning that we all get very early on, that we don't even realize we're being emotionally abused, or we're trying to be controlled. And it's very subtle sometimes. It is very subtle. And I think the more healthy you get, the more that guilt turns into anger. And because on some level, someone is asking something of you that is not right. And your anger is kind of there to help wake you up to that. I'm not saying you work out of anger and you get angry and yell. That doesn't work. That won't make you feel good. But it's about honouring, I feel a bit angry. Why is that? Because on some level, I feel like I'm trying to be controlled. And that is why anger arises, because it's a message from your body telling you something's not quite right, and something isn't quite right. The initial feeling when you're probably still unwell is guilt. You'll feel guilty. Oh God. Instead of being happy for you that you've made this decision to go do what you want to do, or have a trip, or whatever it is, or marry that person, or even be in love with that person, the first thing you'll feel is guilt. But it's toxic guilt. It's toxic because you haven't done anything wrong. You're just choosing to live your life in a certain way, do certain things, go certain places, and that's entirely your freedom. But no, the other person or the other people in your world don't want to do that. So it's toxic guilt that you're feeling. You haven't done anything wrong. Living life on your terms is not wrong. If you don't live life on your terms, you'll get to the end of your life and think, what the hell have I been doing? I've been doing this for them and staying here for them and not doing that for them and trying to be that good child, that good little girl, that whatever it is. No, it's no one else's job. Please yourself. Please yourself. Because I'm telling you, at the end of your life, that is the regret we take to our grave. That is the regret we take to our... What have I been doing? Trying to appease? Trying to please, trying to make everyone happy, and in that whole not making me happy, not even knowing what does make me happy. It's never been about you see, has it? It's always been about everybody else. I just wanted to share that because I think this is what's happening right now. I think people are getting angry because they're realizing somebody's trying to control me in a very subtle, underhand, manipulative way, and you're starting to wake up to that. Because it's not your job to make anyone else happy. And I think people look at therapists and go, you're breeding selfishness. You're breeding, this. You're actually telling people not to speak to their children, not to speak to their parents. And I'm like, seriously? You think any counsellor or therapist that does that? No, that's highly unethical. I would never tell anyone not to speak to anyone. It's up to them what they do with their lives. My job is to empower the person sitting in front of me to connect deeply with their emotions. Control this, manage this, take care of the body. Give themselves an opportunity to know themselves deeply so they can figure out who they want to be, what they want to do with their life, and not allow others to control them. So I teach empowerment. In fact, I would go over and above to actually help people repair, work through. If you've got resentments towards parents, That's down to you. You have to work that out. Stop playing blame games and blaming parents or blaming people. Come back to you. Own the way you feel. Heal your own wounds. I would do everything in my ability to help that person have the relationship they wanted or felt like they wanted. I help empower people to connect with themselves deeply. That's all. I don't tell them what to do, how to think, how to feel. I don't tell them what decisions they should and shouldn't make. They're a grown up. They need to make those decisions on their own. But I'm so aware of this subtle abuse. And I know people, if I said that to some people, they'd be like, how dare you? I'm not abusive. They would never consider themselves. I'm the most loving, kind, generous, giving human being on the planet. They would never even consider themselves abusive. So that's why I don't tell the person that they're being abusive. I mean, maybe if they came in and I saw them trying to control somebody, I'd point it out. I would definitely challenge that. I'd say, how's that working out for you? But for me, it's about empowering them to do what, because they probably didn't do what they wanted. And this is why they're just pulling that down from the like, well, I couldn't do what I wanted. I had to do what they wanted me to do. I was constantly feeling guilty and I was always controlled then. And you're going to pass that down. So they just do what their parents did and then they pass it down. So I'm not blaming. People are doing the best they can. That's all they can do. And I'm really not blaming those people. It's about waking up to what you're doing, to try and control, to try and manipulate, to try and get your needs met in a way that's not healthy, that's immature, and it comes out of a deep sense of fear and insecurity. So take from that what you will. I just wanted to share that. And I've put the heating on, so hopefully I'm a bit warmer now so I can take my coat off. But I hope you have a good day. And if you like what you've heard or you want to send it to someone, please do. Share it, like, subscribe, or all the things that you're supposed to do. And I'll be back next time. And I'll see you then.